tonight, let down by hospitals and the community. The government has started an independent investigation, but families say that doesn't go far enough. Also ahead, they had all been referred to Essex Mental Health Services precisely because they needed help, but dozens of families say their loved ones died because they were failed in hospitals and in the community. In total, around 30 people have lost their lives over a period of 20 years. The government has started an independent inquiry, but grieving families say that won't go far enough. They want the country's first ever mental health statutory public inquiry, the only way they say to achieve justice. Well, Rags Martel has spoken to two mothers about their fight. A man has died after being restrained by police in North London. Officers were called to an address in Haringey last Thursday, but the details have only emerged today. Well, our senior correspondent Ronke Phillips is here. So, Ronke, what more do we know about what happened?
So we know...
Ronke, what have police said?
Well, that...
Thank you. The head teacher of a private school in North London has apologised and announced an independent review after the governors at Highgate School were sent a document with 170 testimonies of sexual abuse and harassment. Hundreds of thousands of children with a parent in prison are suffering from depression, anxiety and other serious mental health issues made worse after a year in lockdown. That's according to new research by the Centre for Criminology at Oxford University. They're warning of a generation of traumatised children who are failing or falling through the cracks as a result of separation over the last year. Ria Chatterjee spoke to a mother in Essex. A new report has highlighted the different outcomes in fertility treatment experienced by patients from ethnic minority communities. The report also found that across all ethnic groups there is a chronic shortage of egg and sperm donors, and in London many patients are offered only one round of IVF despite the recommended amount being 3 cycles. Well, joining me now is fertility specialist Professor Geeta Nargund. Professor Nargund, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I mean, this report is from the UK's fertility regulator, and I believe it's the first of its kind that's really looked into the inequalities in treatment and outcomes. And we highlighted just a few points there, but you've gone through this report in a lot more detail. What are the main reasons? We do hear a lot in general, don't we, that it's a postcode lottery generally when it comes to IVF treatment. I mean, is that worse in a city like London? And would that add an extra layer to the disparity that we're seeing in success rates here? As well, you know, you talk about all the things that can be implemented to achieve, or I think the chair of the regulator says, you know, to get a level playing field. But in reality, you know, how long are we looking at? How long is this going to take? Because this is something that's clearly ingrained within the system.
Yeah, well,
still to come. But first, the owner of a dog that attacked a seal on the banks of the River Thames has apologised for what she says was a terrible accident. The ITV News continues with the national and international stories at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Mary. Well, next from us, an act of extreme selflessness that changed the course of history in East London. In 1943, a pilot with engine trouble was coming down over a school in Hornchurch. Instead of ejecting, Raymond Sanders Draper steered the Spitfire away, crash landing in a field. He died, but his actions meant 1,000 children survived. Our reporter Sam Holder spoke to one pupil from that day 78 years ago, thankful his life was saved. Sally is here. So Sally, you know, as we saw there, children back at school now, a great opportunity to get them reading.
Yeah, children's book project, because many children don't have access to books at home.
And here she is again, Sally. From books to weather, how's it looking?
Well, it's a bit of my ears saying, no, I think it's next week.
You better find out, sir.
If they do break up this weekend, well, Friday quieter again. We might see a bit of sunshine, but there's certainly going to be a bit of cloud out there.
And finally, the London Gallery that's giving music fans the opportunity to chat to one of the world's most respected artists. People will be able to put their questions directly to Nile Rodgers about his career and collaborations via the National Portrait Gallery. But how will it work, given he's already recorded his answers? Lewis Warner explains. So many questions for Nile Rodgers. That is it for now. We're back with the latest after ITV News at 10. Coming up, Mary with the ITV Evening News, but from me and the rest of the London team, bye-bye.